Yo. Welcome in. Today's November 14th, 2022. Another edition of ChrisBeCappinn NBA show. Let's make some money today, man. Let's dominate the books. It's a new week, new money, new opportunities. Let's go, man. We just got breaking news about the Orlando Magic starting lineup. And looks like Paulo is still out. They're starting Suggs, Franz Wagner, Chimo Kiki, Wendell Carter Jr. and Bo is starting for against that Charlotte team tonight. That's uh, the most updated news. Let me make sure. Let me just check Underdog tweets real quick. Make sure we don't have any anything else that I'm supposed to be made aware of that maybe I missed. Yeah, Banchero's ruled out 7 minutes ago. Trey Jones is also ruled out. I saw that. Steph and Draymond will play tonight. Klay Thompson is out. If you guys wanted to get on that, you probably should already. Um, and that's really all we got. Trey Man, Darius Baisley. But welcome in, like I always say, man. Let's get to some money today. The NBA hasn't been treating me fair, man. Myron Kidd said prayers to the UVA football team. That's a fact, Myron. You know where we live. Myron, you from where I'm from. So I know you know, bro. That's near and dear. Um, you know, we ain't gonna get into too much of it because it's not a football show, but community definitely affected, man. Yeah, I know I'm in Charlottesville, so uh yeah, prayers up the UVA football team, to all three of the families who lost a son, a brother, a friend, all that good stuff, man. It's a tragic day in Charlottesville around UVA for sure. So um I'm glad you actually mentioned that, Myron. I was gonna try to leave it off, but I mean it needs to be said. Uh, let's see. What up, Mitch? What up, Markel? Markel said he on Jalen Brown 25 and a win. A kid named Coop said we back. What's good, Chris? Let's go, man. Let's turn up for the day, man. Let's bring the energy. Let's bring the plays for sure too. Let's get to it, man. Let's jump right into it. So we got what do we got? I think we got 7 games today. And let me see how these spreads have moved with the news because we did just get some news about the Golden State Warriors. That spreads actually up to 9 now, even with the injury news. That's interesting. The Atlanta spread is still 4. Houston spread is still 5. Oh no, hold on. Are we getting updated? Is this up? All right? So Charlotte actually flips. Matter of fact, let's just go straight into the game. So first game up, we got the Toronto Raptors coming into town. They are laying 5 points on the road in this one. Spread has come down. Money's come in on Detroit in this spot for good reason. Shout out to my guy Mitch. We was talking about this game earlier. Um, and this one is Dwayne Casey. He owns Toronto. We know that he's the coach there. He felt like he was done dirty by the organization, and he's won 4 in a row against Toronto. Every I think pretty much ever since he got let go up there in Toronto. So if you're thinking about back in Toronto, who they're extremely thin right now. They are more rested than they were, but they're coming off 2 straight losses. Bad road spot against Indiana. We did get that game right on Saturday. Now they off 1 day of rest, so this will be what 6 games and 8 nights. That was a 5 and 7 spot, so 6 and 9 nights. I'm sorry, 6 games and 9 nights. Extremely short. Fred VanVleet's already been ruled out. Siakam, Birch has been ruled out. Kim Birch, he hasn't played in a while, and then Precious Achua is down as well. Um, Kaloka was listed as questionable. I don't know if he's going to be in or not. I didn't see injury news on him, but that's going to be big as far as up front, that front line. And then on the opposite side, of course, you get Cade out. He's going to be out with that shin injury for the next, I think, 4 games. So this Raptors team, they're 0-6 in the last 6 meetings ATS. Raptors are also 2-5 in the last 7 meetings in Detroit. And like I said, they lost, I think, the last 4 games outright in this spot as well. So, not a lot really, boding well for backing the Raptors in this spot. And I think that's the reason some of the money's come in on the Pistons to be able to cover this spread and keep it close. Um, my guy Mitch was talk. We chopped it up about Isaiah Stewart in this game. So he was looking at the double double. I think it was plus 189 on some books. And I'm not saying that I played this, but I did do a quick little write up. And then I saw that Marvin Bagley was back and was like, I don't really know if I want to play it or not. Marvin Bagley, I've been talking about Marvin Bagley a lot and the defensive impact that he has. Of course, Coach Dwayne Casey's not going to throw him right back into the fire, but he did play 17 minutes in the season opener the other day, finishing with 4 points and 4 rebounds. I think that could cut into Isaiah Stewart's production just a tad bit. But I did see something earlier that was interesting by one of the Detroit beat writers, and he was saying that the Pacer, Isaiah Stewart specifically, has been shooting 40% from three recently. So, far as getting his points, he's been teetering back and forth between this double double. He's hit 4 double doubles in the last 7 games. Today he gets a matchup against Toronto that's allowing the 8th most rebounds over the last 5 games. I already talked about the Raptors front court kind of being in shambles with all the injuries to to Kim Birch and Precious Achiuwa and Siakam and Koloko if he doesn't go. So I like the spot for Toronto tonight, man. I'm sorry. I like the spot for Isaiah Stewart. I think his double doubles. It's not guaranteed, but I like the look for him as well. I think he could definitely get there, and I like that you can get it at plus money too. Like I say, he's been kind of teetering back and forth. I'm not picking a side in this game. Detroit has been terrible at home. On the road. They really miss. You can tell that they really, really miss Cade Cunningham. Jaden Ivey has been playing well. Bogdanovich has been playing well for them. And then on the opposite side, I do think that you have to look at a guy like Scotty Barnes. Rookie of the year last year. He'll have a lot on his plate today because not only is Fred VanVleet out, like I said, and Siakam, but then you also have Gary Trent Jr. out as well. And we know that this Detroit defense is one of the most vulnerable defenses in the league. They're not playing hard on the well, they might be playing hard, but it's not showing up. I think they rank like 27th defensively, giving up a ton of points to pretty much everybody that they've played. We know Toronto can struggle to score, but I like Scotty Barnes in this spot. His PRA line is actually 33.5 on some books. So Scotty Barnes would be somebody I'd be looking at just to kind of impact the game. From every aspect. We know that, he could be on potential triple-double alert today, Scotty Barnes, that is. I do think that OG Anunoby, of course, also will step up his production. And then Nick Nurse is just really going to be calling on the other guys. There's going to be a lot of value on this team. So as the game get closer, we'll probably find lines for some of these, other guys who we typically don't have lines for, because there's going to be a lot of value out there on the Detroit side of things. So that's my kind of quick analysis and breakdown for that game. Moving along, let's go to the Charlotte Hornets and Orlando Magic. This line opened at the Magic in favor by 1 at home against this Hornets team that has lost, I think, 7 in a row, 8 in a row. Total opened at 221. It's up to 225 now. So some money's definitely coming on the over. You get the Magic in this game. They're coming off back-to-back wins against the Mavericks and against the Suns at home. This will be their 5th straight game at home of a 7-game homestand. I always talk about not fading a team that's been playing at home for so many games in a row. And then, of course, like I said, Paolo Banchero has already been ruled out. Dennis Smith Jr. was listed as doubtful. Gordon Hayward is also out. And, of course, we know LaMelo Ball made his debut the other day going 0 for 8 from the three-point line, even though he still played pretty well in that first game, in his first game of the season, his debut in the season against the Miami Heat the other day. So on one side, you could look at this and say, you know what? The Hornets have been playing really well, even without Paolo. I think I want to back them in this spot, especially now that they're dogs, right? Now that they're dogs, because we know that they've not only covered, but they've won 2 games in a row outright as dogs, that being the Charlotte Hornets. On the opposite side, you could say, that being the Orlando Magic. On the opposite side, you could say that the Charlotte Hornets are due for a win as well. They've, been losing just a lot of, really bad spots for them too. They haven't really played too many games in the same spot. And they, eventually you're going to win. Like, all these teams aren't going to lose forever, So I don't know if this Orlando team, comes out, and they have been taking teams serious and kind of beating them. I would want to back them as a dog, but I'm not looking to back them. I don't really have a strong opinion on this game. Put it like that. I could see it going either way. My lean would be towards the Magic, though, to be able to cover this 1.5 point spread and potentially win this game outright. I think that they have a little more length. I think they have a little more athleticism, and I think that they play a little more defense. Charlotte is ranked in the bottom in all of those categories, even offensive production. Of course, we need to see what LaMelo can do on that side of the floor, but they have a lot of good production on that side. So nothing really for me in this game. Just kind of giving you guys my thoughts. Moving along, the Thunder and the Celtics are the next game up. Total in this one, so Celtics were favored by 11. It quickly went up to 12, and I still see it at 12. I see 11 and a half as well. Total in this one opened at 227 and a half. It's up to 229 and 229. I see 228 and a half as well. And this is a game that's interesting to me. And I made a video earlier. I took the over 228 on BetUS, and I would endorse this one up to about 229 as well. I think you see a lot of points in this game. You get the Thunder coming into this game off the win yesterday against the Knicks. They actually went to MSG and gave up 48 points in the first half, which lets you know that they're not playing a lot of defense. You get a Celtics team on the first night of a back-to-back. A day's rest and Celtics come in on a day's rest and back-to-back wins. They smacked the Nuggets up on Friday, and then we saw Coach Mazzulla give Al Horford and Jaylen Brown a night off on Saturday on the second night of a back-to-back, and they still smacked Detroit up too. This offense is hot right now. For OKC, not only is this a back-to-back, there's also a 3rd and 4 because they beat the Toronto Raptors on Friday. So they played Friday, they was off Saturday, then they played yesterday, and then they had to travel from New York to Toronto. So it could be, some tired legs. I think that they continue to not play defense. This team is different than the team last year. Last year, it seemed like they relied a lot on their defense. This year, they're scoring, a lot more points. We've seen Shai Gilgeous-Alexander play extremely well. We've seen Josh Giddey play extremely well as well. They will be without Trey Mann. I saw that he was listed. He got ruled out in this one. So the Celtics, they start they start a 3-game road trip after tonight's game. They go to Atlanta, then they got New Orleans, and they got Chicago. But I don't feel like they're really overlooking anybody right now. I think that they're scoring a lot of points. They're hot right now, and I think that they continue that hot streak. So Jaylen Brown and Al Horford are expected to be back, even though they were on the injury report in the last game. And like I said, they rested on in Saturday's game. But I just think that means that they're more rested. They will be without Malcolm Brogdon. But a couple trends for this game. So OKC is playing at the 4th fastest pace over the last 5 games. You get their defense that has the 23rd ranked defensive rating. I just kind of alluded to that. We also got breaking news that Tyler Herro is listed as out in that Miami game. But back to this game, Boston. They have the highest offensive rating over the last 5 games. They've actually absolutely been just scoring left and right. They're averaging 61 points in the first half when they're playing off 1 day's rest, averaging 63 points in the first half when their opponents are playing on the second night of a back-to-back. I absolutely love this spot for the Celtics. I don't think that, they overlook this team. And I played the total in this game. Excuse me. I played the total in this game over the 228. I think the Celtics score early. I think they score often. I also think that, the Thunder, they continue to, just be overlooked and they probably get out and score some points in this one as well. Couldn't talk anybody off a team total for the Celtics, first quarter, first half, or full game. Those are all strong looks that I like as well. And I mentioned those earlier on the morning show as well. So I think that number's ticked up just a tad bit. It was 119 this morning when I did the morning show, and I think it's up to 120 right now. But I would still look for the Celtics to score 122, 125 points in this game. I like that look a lot. And like I said, I already played that one. As far as points, let's see. If you want to, people just real high on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. 3rd game in 4 nights against the Celtics defense that's going to be fast-paced. I could, give you some pros and cons for either. So I'm not on Shai today, but, he is coming off a 37-point game. Absolutely taking the league by storm. I think he's like 13th in blocks. Dude's been just killing it. So couldn't talk anybody, off Shai in this game. I do think it's a lot of points being scored in this game. So I'll be looking towards him. Also, Josh Giddey, it should be a fast-paced game. He's coming off yet another triple-double against the Knicks yesterday, and I like him to be able to score in this game as well. Couldn't talk anybody off Giddy either if people wanted to play Giddy props. Suns in the Heat. This was a game I didn't put a lot of this thought power into this game just because it was injuries on both parts. CP3 was listed as questionable, and then Tyler Hero. And I keep talking. I mentioned it multiple times in the space before that I'm not looking to wait all day trying to cap these games and then we don't find out until 30 minutes before the game. To me, it's just too much going back and forth. In my head of if this person's gonna play, then you get bit by the injury report, the manipulation of the injury report. And like I said, Tyler Hero's ruled out in this game, so I'm pretty sure that's gonna probably change the spread. And I see now. So the Miami Heat opened as a 1.5 point favorite. It went all the way up to 2, but now I see Circa actually have him as a pick. So the total in this one has come down from 217.5 all the way down to 214, 215 at some books. So I guess so. The Suns are coming off, this road trip. They actually lost in Orlando in their last game. You see the Heat kind of catch fire just a tad bit. Kim Birch actually just got rolled in as well. That's breaking news from Underdog. I'm seeing that come through. But Tyler Hero being out, the Suns losing the game, and of course, like I said, I didn't see the news about Chris Paul yet. I think he's still questionable. If I had to guess, I would say Chris Paul doesn't play in this one. Honestly, just to I just feel like they probably won't rush him back. Like, the Suns know what their expectations for the season is, and it's not to, have Chris Paul playing a bunch of meaningless games at the start of the season is at least my thought process in it. So not sure where he is in his recovery, but that makes this game extremely difficult to cap because he's such a vital part of their offense and just the way the game goes. So I have nothing on this game. I'm interested to hear you guys' thoughts, but I'm going to keep going and get to the next one so I can get to you guys, that people who do have stuff. So next game up, we got the Clippers and the Rockets. The Clippers actually opened as 5.5 point favorites in this game. The total opened at 221, and now I see the line at 5, and I see the total at 219.5. So some money's coming on the under. Excuse me. Some money's coming on the under. You get a Rockets team. They're coming off a 4-game road trip. Before that 4-game road trip, they had 1 game at home. Then they had 4 road games before that too. So the odds makers did not do them. I'm sorry, not the odds makers. The schedule makers didn't do them any favor in this to start the season at all. That's 9 straight games in different gyms. 4 road games, 1 home game, 4 road games. Now they're finally back at home. So you could say tonight will be 10 games in different gyms. Only 1 day's rest. The Clippers are coming off 4 straight home games. They also have 1 day's rest. And this is the first game of a back-to-back for them. They play in Dallas tomorrow. John Wall's already been listed as out. Jalen Green was listed as questionable, which also makes this game difficult to cap. I haven't seen anything about his status for this game. But I will say that this Rocket team, it won't show up in the stat sheet for the last game or in the box score, but they played the Pelicans really, really tough in a game they were supposed to get smacked up. Now, inevitably they did end up losing the game by double digits, and the Pelicans covered that spread, but they were right there fighting in that game. And this team has a lot of grit. With that being said, and without knowing the status of Jalen Green, I'm not officially. Dennis Smith Jr. just got ruled out, which means that LaMelo probably is going to play. So with that being said, I'm not officially on anything as far as picking a side or a total in this game. Like I said, the injury report manipulation is not something that I want to kind of rack my brain around because I find myself spending entirely too much time. Koloko or Kim Birch likely to start for Gary Trent Jr. We just got that news from Underdog, trying to keep you guys updated on everything that's going on while breaking the games down. So what I am official on, though, Mr. Paul George himself, CP13. And I posted this one earlier in Chalkboard. I'm on his points, 26.5. I don't know if the line has moved because I haven't checked it, but Paul George has had 27 points in 5 of his last 7 games. But more importantly, he's shooting the ball at least 20 times in 5 of those 7 games as well. PG typically plays well against teams who don't have someone that can defend him. If you watch the Houston Rockets play, if you've watched the Clippers play, he's the focal part of that offense. They try to get him the ball. They don't have a lot of other guys who are, really in rhythm and in sync right now. He's played against the Houston Rockets twice this year, scoring 28 and 35 points. I think the line is indicative of the game actually being close, especially if Jalen Green is ruled in. And I think that the Clippers need his offense. I think this is a game where Paul George could go for 30. He's shooting the ball, pretty much every single time he gets it. I also really enjoy taking players in a bounce back spot. And Paul George is coming off a 5 for 27 shooting performance against the Brooklyn Nets, where he scored 17 points at home on Saturday. And I like taking players in the bounce back spot. I don't think Paul George scored in the fourth quarter either. I think he had 17 points in the third quarter and didn't make a shot in the fourth quarter. So I'm looking for him to come out, try to establish himself early, and I do think that he probably scores near 30 points in this game. I'm on Paul George officially over 26.5 points, 1 unit play for me, minus 113. I think I got that on DraftKings. Moving along, the Hawks and the Bucks game. Excuse me. Line opened at 4. Total opened at 225.5. And 4 in favor of the Bucks. So they are expected to get Giannis back in this game. Drew Holiday is listed as out, and Grayson Allen is probable in this game as well. We see some money come in on a total, just a tad bit going over. The total's up to 226 now, and this game is really weird to kind of these teams that keep playing each other over and over again in a small period of time can be difficult to cap. The Hawks are on their second game of their road trip, which you typically don't want to take the team that's been playing, in one spot for a really long time. Their first game back, and we saw that, right? We saw them struggle. They are coming in off the loss against the Philadelphia 76ers. They got smacked up by the Sixers in that game. Really just couldn't get defensive stops. So now we get the Bucks, back at the crib. Giannis is fully rested in this one. He didn't play in the last 2 games. The Bucks coming off 2 straight losses, most recently against the Spurs. These, like I said, these teams are split already. They're 1-1 against each other. The Hawks are not great on the road. We talked about this before. It's going to be interesting to see if they can improve that road win-loss total and ATS total, just because they typically struggle on the road. Having DeJounte in, Trae Young is healthy now. For the most part, I think he's getting better. I don't want to really pick a side. I do think that losing Drew Holiday for the Bucks will be difficult for them to overcome. But I think the Bucks are in a nice bounce back spot. So I don't want to touch the side in this one. Sides have been killing me lately. But if I had a look in this one, honestly, I don't want to have a look in this one. What I am on though, I like Trae Young in this spot. Points at 26.5, points at 27.5. I think it's a big spot for Trae Young, especially minus Drew Holiday. I think without having Drew Holiday out there, Trae gets up for the games like this. DeJounte likes to feed Trae when he gets hot, when he gets going. So I like Trae Young in this spot. He's cleared 26, 27 points in the first half in a couple, well, not first half, but in the first 3 quarters, a couple games in this series, in this season. So I like Trae in this spot. I like Trae a lot, especially second road game versus first road game in this spot against the Bucks. 225 is a big total. I think he scores, a lot of the points. Also, I wouldn't be surprised if DeAndre Hunter has a big game. Just based on the standpoint of everything that's going on at UVA. He would, I've seen him on grounds at UVA before. Specifically when he was here playing for UVA on the basketball team. So it wouldn't surprise me if he has some extra motivation. Just granted everything that's kind of going on. I didn't even check his numbers or any of that. Just a kind of motivational spot. So no side on the play, no side on the play, but I do like Trae Young over the 26.5, over 27.5 points. I'm gonna make that official play as well. Over 27.5 is what I got it at, just to make it official. I think Trae, could go for 30 in this spot. Next game up and last game on the card, the San Antonio Spurs traveling to Golden State on the second night of a back-to-back for Golden State. We see this defense revert back to what it was before the Cavs came to town, and they actually got a win in a super fatigue spot for the Cavs on, I think that was on Friday night. So in a game that I got correct as far as for Cavs first quarter, Cavs first half, coming out with something there. So this game, we have the San Antonio Spurs coming in off a win over the Milwaukee Bucks, the shorthanded Milwaukee Bucks the other day. The Warriors coming in off the loss last night, after a short trip. They had a couple games at the crib. They beat the Cavs. They go to Sacramento and they lose last night, giving up 120 plus points yet again. And now they get a Spurs team that's fully healthy. I think I saw Trey Jones he's going to be ruled out in this one, but Devin Vassell is in. Keldon Johnson is in. How motivated are the Spurs in this spot? It's really hard for me to tell, but I do think that I'm not trusting the Warriors to win by 8 against anybody right now. The total was at 232. It's up to 234. I agree with that. I do think that the Spurs could go. I think the Warriors could go crazy. I don't think the Spurs could stop the Warriors, but I also don't think the Warriors can also stop the Spurs. So if I had to play in this game, it'd be the total. I look over the 234. I know that the total is extremely high, but I think both of these teams can score. The Warriors on the second night of a back-to-back probably will have even less defensive intensity than they typically play with, and it hasn't been a lot. No resistance at all. And we know that the Spurs are allowing almost 120 points a game as well. So I look for both teams to be able to score, and probably a lot of sneaky value, especially with Clay being out. You got to look at Jordan Poole, even though he's coming off a really good game last night. Dante DiVincenzo, I'm not sure if he's going to play because he did make his return last night. So second night of a back-to-back, they may be a little hesitant to trial him out and play a bunch of minutes as well. So I do like Steph, though. I like Steph a lot. I know his point prop is up to 30.5, but I think he could, realistically have 25. The Spurs have no one that can guard him at all. And, he's carrying his team right now. He's the guy. I also think you have to look at somebody like Draymond assists. I think Draymond can get as many assists as he wants tonight. I don't think he's been ruled out. I think he's going to play in this one. And if that's the case, I do like for him to go over his assist prop. Let me just make sure. Yeah, I like Draymond assists a lot in this spot tonight. Like I said, the Spurs don't offer a lot of resistance. Every time Draymond gets the ball, if you've ever watched the Warriors game recently, he's not even looking at the rim. He pushing the ball, trying to see who coming off the screen so he can deliver the pass. I know he hit his assist prop last night. I like it again tonight. Like I said, the Spurs don't offer a lot of resistance at all. And then I couldn't talk you off Devin Vassell. I couldn't talk you off Keldon Johnson either. It just depends on how you want to play him in this game. But officially, I am on Trae Young over 27.5 points. I am on PG over 26.5 points. I'm on the total for the Celtics in the OKC game over 228. Those are my 3 favorite plays of the day, and I haven't placed anything else yet. Let me see what you guys are on in the comment section, and then if you guys got requests, you got plays that you want to share over on Twitter, send me a request and I'll get you guys up for sure. I think I did that pretty quickly too, so got plenty of time to talk. Let's see what y'all on in the YouTube comment section real quick. Boston team total over. Let a look on that. Freeminds, what's up, bro? Looks like this janky. Yeah, it's real janky, man. Clay ruled out. Is a positive for the Dubs. Yeah, Clay's been bad, man. I actually was scared the other day of playing his unders, and I would have cashed. I was thinking about playing his unders against the Cavs the other day. The thing about Clay, though, is that he shoots it. The volume's always going to be there. This dude will go 3 for 12 from the 3-point line and shoot 15 more threes. So, that's something you got to look at. I think under 220 going to be an ugly, ugly game is what Mitch said. Suns money line. Gary Trent, I think out. Yeah, he is out. What up, OG to the Wham? What up, OG Wham? Kid named Coop said, I took Scotty Barnes PRAs at 33.5. I like Scotty Barnes a lot, man. I would endorse that play, a kid named Coop. Scotty Barnes PRAs over 33.5. I think he has a big load on his shoulders tonight, and I think he carries it. I think he carries it well. Also, it's just a fade of Detroit Pistons defense. They're not playing a lot of defense at all. I think he could, potentially have a triple-double in this one. Bowl, double. Hornets are still bad against centers. Yeah, they're not good. With Ventura marked out now, I'd lean Hornets, but really ideally stand off. Yeah, that's why I am too. I'm staying off for that game. OG Wham said he's on Marcus Smart over 7.5 assists. Love that look for Marcus Smart. I might tell that Wham. Fast-paced game, like I talked about already, equals more assists. So I love Marcus Smart over I know his line was at 6.5, but I like it at 7.5 assists as well. I'm writing that one down, putting that on my short list, Wham. Appreciate you sharing that, my brother. Like I said, just more. And it's plus money, plus 114 if you like Marcus Smart over his 6.5 assists. Fremont says Celtics team total over. I talked about that already. Markel said, I'm not on SGA. I'm gonna wait till next game to back. That's a smart move, I think, Markel, especially third game in 4 nights. I'm not looking to take a lot of players on third game in 4 nights, even with the pace that Boston plays that, if that makes sense. Hope that makes sense. Expect PG to go off. He always does when teams don't have a superstar. That's a fact. I like PG a lot tonight, man. I won't iterate that too much. What up, JT? Appreciate you, my brother, for being here. Mitch said he on Keldon points at 21.5. Couldn't talk anybody. Like I said, I like Keldon a lot tonight as well. It's a lot of player props that I like tonight. All of them ain't gonna hit, so I'm trying to, be strategic and not give out too many. What else y'all on? The Warriors giving up points to centers like crazy. Yeah, that's a fact. They definitely are. That bodes well for Jakob Poeltl tonight. Let's see. Spurs, Warriors over first quarter over 30.5, over 60.5. Love that look. I'm writing that down too. Because I saw the Warriors score almost 40 points in the first quarter last night against the Kings, who have a much better defense than 59.5. Much better defense than the Spurs do. So I do like that look a lot. I think the Spurs come out hot. I think they're frustrated by not being able to play defense, which they don't really care too much about, honestly. I think they just worry about trying to outscore you. Rozier threes and points. Okay. Giddy rebounds and assists. Couldn't talk anybody off that. Spurs bench players too. Warriors bench is losing them the game. That's a fact. Yeah. Yeah, the Warriors. I mean, it's going to be some extreme value on the Warriors tonight, though. Like, you do have to look at some of those guys to be able to score, especially guys with absorbing some of those minutes that that Klay Thompson would get. So that's my looks there. Let me get to the chat though and see what you guys are on. Interested to hear from you guys as always. My guy Mitch is in the building. What up, Mitch? How you doing, my brother?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on?
How you doing, Mitch?
Chopped up this Raptors game quite a bit. Lots of stuff. Lots of interest in Scotty Barnes. Everyone's talking PRA. Everyone's talking he's gonna have the ball. I just had a quick look, and his turnovers are over 2.5 as plus 150. So if we think this guy's gonna have the ball in his hands, gonna be dishing the rock as primary ball handler with no FVV, no Siakam, no Gary Trent. Maybe Flynn might get some of that, but it looks like Scotty's gonna have the ball in his hands. So I know Detroit doesn't have the best defense, but the amount of minutes and usage he's going to get today, I think that plus 150 is a pretty damn good value for just 3 turnovers for Scotty Barnes.
Love that look, Mitch. I know we talked about it. Whenever these guys have the ball in their hands, like you said, it typically leads to more turnovers as well, especially when it's not your primary role. And we know Scotty Barnes he's a pretty good facilitator, but like you said, he'll have the ball in his hands so much tonight that he probably will get there on the turnovers. So I like that look. Couldn't talk anybody off of that one. Love that look, Mitch.
Thanks, guys.
Absolutely, bro.
Good luck, all.
Absolutely, bro. Lo, what's going on? I'm coming to you next, Scott.
Hey, Chris, appreciate you having me up, man. Been a minute since I spoke with you, but definitely prayers and blessings to your city. I know you guys are going through a tragic moment there in Charlottesville for sure.
Absolutely. I appreciate that, Lo. Appreciate that for sure, bro. What's going on with you, man? How you doing? What you on today?
Good, man. So I'm going to follow a keep it simple, stupid strategy here tonight. I like Milwaukee Bucks on the money line, and I'm also going to pair that with Golden State on the money line. If you pair those two, that's only 2 teams I'm playing on the lay here, and it's minus 102 if you take both of their money lines. Getting pretty close to even money here. I like these two spots. Particularly, I like Milwaukee because this is a revenge spot for Milwaukee. They did take their first loss this season to Atlanta in Atlanta, so they're definitely going to want to get up to revenge that spot here in Milwaukee. Another thing I like about the Milwaukee money line is in their last 10 games, they are 8-10 to the money line at home. So, hitting at an 80% clip. I like that look a lot. Golden State, reason I like their money line, coming off a loss last night. Whenever they come off a loss and return back home, they typically get a win. They are 13 and 15 in there, or if that makes sense. They've won 13 of their last 15 home games. So I like these spots tonight for sure with these 2 teams. Like I said, once again, you put the 2 money lines together, you get minus 102. So I just think there are 2 good spots here tonight. That's all I got for y'all, Chris.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like that a lot. Lo, I hadn't even thinking about doing a little 2-team money line parlay. I do think that, like you said, the Bucks get right tonight, especially in the revenge spot. And I do think, even though the Golden State is laying so many points, I do think that they win the game. Like, you can't lose to the Spurs, bro. So I like that. I like that look a lot, Lo. Especially to get to close to plus money or over the plus money, depending on what book you take it on. Appreciate you sharing that, Lo. Scott, I want to kick it to you, and then Bookie, I want to come back to you. What's up, Scott?
What's going on, Chris? How you doing, man?
I'm good, bro. How you doing?
Go first what Lo said. Just all the prayers for you guys, UVA, and everybody in Virginia. It's a crazy situation, and I just hope the healing starts fast. And I got one play for you tonight. It's a same game parlay. I'm taking Jason Tatum, 25 points. Shai Gilgeous, one block. Bet on DraftKings is 105. Shai's got a block in his last 5 games, and he's actually averaging 2 per game. And the Thunder are the team getting the 4th most blocks of any team in the association. So the opportunity is going to be there. They're going to be gunning for it. And Tatum, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. He's under 25 points, exactly 1 game this season. It gets him a little under his line, and you can get both those for 105 in a game, like you said, that is probably going to drift towards the over. So there's going to be a lot of scoring opportunities. I think he's going to get his. If you're saying go with his normal point line and get it to plus money, I wouldn't argue. I just like the margin of error. The 25 gets me.
Love it, Scott. Love it, love it, love it, love it. I was just talking about how Shea, I think, is like 13th in the league in blocks, and this dude is playing like, point guard / shooting guard. I love that look. He's playing like extremely hard too. If you watch him,
he's playing like he's got something to prove. So I feel like he's going to be looking for that block. And again, like last 5 games, he's averaging 2. All we need in this little 2 parlay is 1.
Yeah. I love the look, Scott. Love the look. Absolutely love the look, man. I hope you cash it. Thank you for sharing that.
Heck yeah, man. Thanks for bringing me up.
Absolutely, bro. Bookie, kick it to you. What's going on, Bookie? What you on today?
What's up, Chris? So only 3 plays tonight that I'm on officially, just because Sky got us a little bit late. But so first I'm on in OKC in Boston. Jeremiah Robinson Earl under 1.5 3-pointers made. Boston -4, 2-legger -115. I've been getting a bit on these 2-leggers lately, some bad beats, but I'm going to stick with it. I really like this play, so I'm going to play it. Robinson has a spot-up shot frequency of 38%, the highest in the rotation on the Thunder. And he's shooting 36% of his threes from the corner, the second highest in the rotation. On the season, he's averaging 1.5 3-pointers made on 3.7 attempts. And he's actually shooting 43%. Tonight against Boston in a tough matchup, I'm expecting some regression, especially against a team that's allowing the 10th least 3-point attempts from the corner, 3rd lowest 3-point percentage, 8th least spot-up attempts. And they're also allowing the 3rd least 3-pointers made to small forwards and the 10th least to power forwards. Robinson played 31 minutes last game, but then the previous game only played 13 in overtime. So minutes aren't guaranteed, especially considering the matchup. OKC obviously on their 3rd game in 4 days. Boston with JB back. I like them to cover that 2 possessions. I think they can do that pretty easily. And then this one, don't necessarily love this play, but the odds are just insane on this, so I had to sprinkle on it. Jaden Ivey double-double. This was plus 700 other places, but if you go to the app Flip, definitely wouldn't recommend using it all the time, but they're really lazy with lines, so you can take advantage of it sometime. It's plus 2,000 over there compared to plus 700 some other places. Last game, I think he only had 5 or 6 assists, but it was a tough matchup against Boston. Today, he has who are the Pistons playing?
Tonight?
Toronto.
Yeah, Toronto.
Yeah, and, dwindle down, it definitely could be a high-scoring game. I'm not saying I love the play necessarily, but the odd discrepancy, I just had to take that. And then San Antonio, Golden State. So if DiVincenzo's out, for a team that plays a really like an 8 to 9 man rotation, 8 meaningful players playing rotation minutes, the bench dwindling down like that. And I don't know if you saw it, but Wiseman, Moody, and Kuminga haven't played in 3 games, so you're asking one of those guys to be forced to maybe play some back-end minutes today against a Spurs team that not deep necessarily, but has a lot of young guys who will play hard. And I was actually reading a article from a Warriors beat writer today, Joe Vivery, I think, on Twitter, something like that. And we all know the Warriors' defense has been pretty bad this year, but in terms of efficient field goal percentage, meaning like efficient shots being taken, their percentage on them, the Warriors actually have the 3rd best in the NBA. It's just their defensive struggles are highlighted on like things like lack of lazy rotations, not helping, giving up insane amount of mid-range shots and floaters and runners and shots near the right, like in the middle area of the paint, like the non-restricted area. And against the Spurs team coached by Greg Popovich, they play really hard. They play very smart, though it's a young team. I think they can keep this game within 3-4 possessions.
Okay, I can see it. I could definitely see it, Boogie. Boogie, I appreciate you sharing the look, bro. Slay Jimmy, I want to come to you real quick. What you want today, Slay Jimmy? Appreciate you being here as always, my guy.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you. I think my best pick, not my best, but just one of three. I have Franz Wagner for Orlando Magic. I have him averaging 19.5 as at least 20 points today against Hornets. And then I wanted to ask, do you have any word on Giannis?
Yeah, Giannis gonna play today, Slay.
Okay, so he's playing today against Hawks, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so that's my best pick for today. I'm going with Franz Wagner, since Brad Kerr and some other guys in that spot would not be playing today. So I think you really want to step up for the team.
Okay. Hey, best of luck, Slay. I hope you cash him, bro.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I think it's a good play. He's been the guy that's been stepping up without Paulo for sure. It's a team effort down there in Orlando, and on any given night, it could be Bo again. It could be it could be Jalen Jalen Suggs. I'm sorry. It could be any of those guys, but I think Franz is he's been the consistent guy. Just watching those games, and I think that they believe in themselves. I think Orlando is trying to change the culture down there, and they definitely believing in themselves. And that it could with a team like that that's so young, it could be any of those guys. But I couldn't talk you off of them, Jimmy.
Okay. One more thing here for the Raptors. Who do you think, or who are you going for in terms of still the same stepping up topic between Scottie Barnes and OG?
So for me, I've been watching the Raptors closely recently, and I've been betting on them, been betting with them. I bet against them on Saturday in the bad spot that they were in, and I really like, I like OG to. I think OG Anunoby is the guy that plays the defense. He should be first team all defense this year. The guy is like literally, like in the back pocket of whoever he's defending, the best perimeter offensive player on the opposite team. I've seen him do it to DeRozan in 2 games back to back. He's he's the guy that's out there playing, the defense. So I think, it's hard to bring that energy also to the offensive end when you're kind of set in on taking the other team's better perimeter player away. So I think Scottie is the guy for me tonight that I think has to step up, and you get a Detroit defense that I said, I talked about already. They're allowing, I think, the 4th most points in the NBA. They're just not good defensively right now. I know that, getting Marvin Bagley back, I don't expect his minutes to go up too much, but I think that he, brings a defensive impact. They went, I think, 10-6 to the under in his games last year when he was available for the team. But until he can get back, back into the full swing of things, they're just not playing a lot of defense. They're also turning the ball over a lot. So I like Scottie tonight. I like Scottie a lot.
Okay. All right. Thanks. That's okay.
Absolutely, Slay. Absolutely, man. Best of luck on your action tonight. Anybody else got any looks things that they're looking at? Any questions? Any plays? Because I don't see any more requests. If not, we can make it a short show. But if you guys got questions, definitely send me a request and I'll get you guys up in the chat. Oh, we did get Chris Paul being out officially. So Chris Paul's out on one side, and then we also got Tyler Hero out on the other side. So I think that bodes for an interesting trend for sure. But let me get to I'm not gonna close it yet. I'm gonna try to get you guys connected. I see Zay. I'm gonna try to get to Zay and Henneman. What's going on, brother? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What's up, G? How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, man. It's good to be back, man. It's good to hear your voice, spreading that knowledge for sure.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. What you want today? What you liking?
So that's Sadiq Bey over 14.5. I was wondering your opinion on that. That was my first thing.
So Henneman, I'll say this about Sadiq Bey. I actually took a flyer on Sadiq Bey. I played him. When did Detroit play? They played Saturday. I took Sadiq Bey, personal play. Sadiq Bey is and I had to go back and kind of figure out why, when I lose, I like to evaluate my losses. Why did I take Sadiq Bey?
Yeah.
I took Sadiq Bey because I thought Sadiq Bey was second, in line in this pecking order, which last year he was, right? Like it was Cade Cunningham,
Yes.
then it was Sadiq Bey, and Jeremy Grant. They all kind of split, right? But Sadiq Bey has taken to me anyway, watching them play, Sadiq Bey has taken a step back. They're trying to figure out who they are, and they're trying to figure out the pecking order for me, right? So no Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey's actually been the guy. Bogdanovich coming in, he takes a lot of shots, and this guy can create his own shots for himself as well. So I'm not saying that just because I took him one time and I was wrong, that it won't be him. But I think that the Detroit team is still trying to figure out offensively who they are. Like they're really kind of going through it, right? Because like I talked about, you got Ivey, you got Durham coming off the bench, you got Bagley coming back trying to get integrated into the offense. We've seen Isaiah Stewart step up. He's more of a of an offensive player. I feel like this year he's shooting the ball a lot more, even from the 3-point line. Trying to find his offense. So I'm just not as high until until they can kind of get that figured out and I can see the pecking order. I think I'm more inclined to kind of stay off of the player props until I figure that part out. Then I'll be more interested in going back in and figuring out when I want to take Sadiq Bey.
Nice. Okay, appreciate that. Just wanted to say a play I'm on. LaMelo Ball's 18.5. Orlando, they allow the first most points to point guards, and they're also 29th in 3 points allowed, 30th in mid-range shooting percentages. And he goes off usually or not goes off, but he at least drops 20 when he plays them. And the last 3 times that he's played them, he's had 26, 23, and 22. That's a nice look that I'm on. And besides that, since you were on Trae Young, I looked at his threes. I love him at over 2.5. He's hit 2 in every game. I mean, I think if he's gonna go over 30 tonight or go over that 27.5, he'll definitely have more than 2 threes tonight, for sure.
Okay, I like that look too, man. I think I think that game could get out and be a fast-paced game, especially without Drew being there. I think I really like Trae without Drew. I mean, Trae, it was a shootout last time that these two teams played in Milwaukee. That was when the Hawks were still on that massive road trip that they were going on, and Trae, got into a shootout with Giannis, and it didn't work out well for him in that game, but he crushed his player prop. And I think, I always say, you don't want to necessarily take the guys on their first road game, but you do want to take them, in their second road game, in a game that's, thought about as being highly competitive. And I like Trae, especially if he gets hot. And if he does it, it's probably going to be because he's hitting threes. Minus Drew Holiday, it makes me like him even more, So best of luck on that play, bro. I hope you catch it.
Last play for everybody out there. We talked about Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes' rebounds and assists is way too low. 13.5 is just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, even with everybody, if you just look at his game log in the last 5, 10, and 4, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. I mean, if the ball's going to be in his hand like at 13.5, it's just way, way, way too low. I expect him to soar over that. So those are my top 3.
Okay. Hey, I like it. I like it a lot. That's a good pivot to take his points out too. I like that look a lot. Love that look, man. I hope you cash it, bro. Pick'em P, I want to kick it to you, and then DJ, and I want to come to you. What's up, Pick'em P? How you doing today, bro?
What's shaking with you, Chris?
I'm all right, man. How you doing?
Sidebar. It's hard as hell to get up early for these morning shows, bro. I be like 30 minutes behind.
That's cool, bro. I
try and make it when I can.
Hey, it's all good. It's all love. It's always recorded on YouTube. I just like to get the early lines out and at least kind of thought the start the analysis and the process. And I think it's, even though I'm not giving out a lot of official plays in the morning, but most of the time it's because of the injury report news. But if I can get ahead of lines and, we have something where we know guys are going to be in, a la the play with the Celtics and the Oklahoma City Thunder today, I want to be able to get those lines out so that the line doesn't move too fast, so that's why I'm doing the show. I appreciate everybody for getting there with me in the morning when they can, whether you're listening to it on your work commute or, you just got some time while you're at the gym or whatever the case might be. Those are recorded via podcast as well. So if you guys don't want to actually watch the YouTube or go back and look at it on Twitter, they're available through Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that as well. But I'm promoting myself. Go ahead, Pick and P.
Hey, you and the Breakfast Club in the morning. That's the routine these days.
I like it, bro.
But I got a question, and I'm not gonna take. I'll give too. So on DraftKings, Josh Giddey 5.5 assists plus money. Obviously, he had double. He's got a high usage. He's got the ball in his hands a lot. I know he's probably going to be matched up against the last year's Defensive Player of the Year, but 6 assists for a guy that has as much volume as him, fast-paced game. I'll roll the dice on that one.
Like it.
My question for you is, what about this system play about taking the big man against the Hornets? Bull is looking good this season. He's making some good decisions. I would say Wendell Carter, but his line is a little too high for my blood. So let me know what you think about Bull.
I like Bobo. I like Bobo a lot, especially without Paulo being in there. This is the thing too. I think that's interesting to know, and I probably should have started with this. I just had so much going on in my head that I can't remember all of it. I feel like it's a sleepy spot for most teams coming into Orlando. Typically, you come into Orlando, you've already played against the Heat, or you're about to play against the Heat, and you're down there. The weather's feeling nice. It's a lot of things to do that you can't do necessarily in your own city. And I feel like teams overlook the Orlando Magic. With that being said, when you've lost 7, 8 in a row, you're typically not overlooking anybody. You're trying to get a win as best. You're gonna put your best foot forward to try to get a win. So I think Orlando, they're at the crib, 5th straight game in a 7-game homestand. Rested, not second night of a back-to-back. I don't think they played since they beat the Suns on, I think that was on Friday. So coming off, 2 days of rest. So I couldn't talk you off, man. Bobo is I think honestly, just slightly off topic. I think that all those big guys that they have in Orlando, not necessarily going. I think all of them going to become so good that they all won't be able to stay on the same team. They end up having to trade some of them because they got a lot of really good guys, down on their front line. So I like Bobo. I'm a tremendous backer of him. I like him in this spot, especially against the Charlotte team. Like I said, they should be motivated in this spot to play some defense. If we've seen them play defense throughout the season in different spurts, but I want to say last 5 games, they're ranked 27th defensively, 26th, 28th, something like that. So, definitely bottom 10 defensively. And I think, Orlando could keep it going at home tonight, man. I'm not officially on the game. Like I said, I like Orlando as dogs, but Charlotte, you don't want to keep fading teams when they've lost, 7, 8 games in a row. I'm pretty sure a lot of money wasn't on the Lakers last night, and the Lakers had lost, I think 1-7, 1-8 ATS after a loss. And you see what they do against a Brooklyn team that, just came in with a win. So you got to look at motivational spots, right? Orlando is due to come up, but Charlotte is also due to come up here soon too. So that kind of keeps me off of the game. Charlotte desperately needing to win. Orlando could be feeling themselves based on, back-to-back wins, outright wins, and ATS wins against a really good Dallas Mavericks team, which a game they wasn't supposed to win, and a really good Phoenix Suns team that they wasn't supposed to win against either. So and all of that stuff kind of goes into the psychology of these players, which makes when especially early in the season, I need to see the trends before I start pulling the trigger on that, and I'm a little more cautious. So like I said, I'm off the side, but psychologically I can see Charlotte coming out and giving it the best effort that they got tonight. I hope that answers your question, Pick and P.
Most definitely. Respect, bro. I'm gonna keep it light today, though. So I'll probably stick with Giddey, and we'll see how it goes. I'll give you a recap tonight.
I like it, bro. I love, ain't nothing never wrong with going light, because you can't lose but so much money if you go light. So I like it. I like it a lot. D-Gen, kick it to you. What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
What's up, Chris? How you doing, man? And you got to promote that early morning 7 a.m. show. I've tuned in a couple times, man. It's great. It's really informational. If you like betting basketball, give it a listen. You can get some really early lines before the books even correct these. So definitely appreciate what you're doing there, man. I'm excited for tonight's slate.
I appreciate that, DJ. What you on today, man? What you liking?
But so I definitely like a couple today. I'm not playing that Trae Young over points straight up, but I like that play. Got it in a parlay, and props have been fun lately. We're 12-3 over our last 15, up almost 12 units. took yesterday off. Sunday's just a weird NBA day to me. I don't know why. With everyone watching football and NFL going on, it just seemed like a weird slate. So I took the day off, and I like Tatum today. I like Paul George today, both in their points. But the one I'm going to dive in and give out today, guys, this is a 3-unit play for us, right? This is our first 3-unit prop of the season. And it's one that I really like a lot, and I like it even more. It's Devin Booker over 27.5 tonight. And Booker is a guy, I've been seeing him get a lot of slander on gambling Twitter, on NBA Twitter recently. Dudes are knocking him out of their top 10 with ways that other guys have been playing this year. And Booker, he's an emotional player. He reads the news. He sees all the shit talking going on. And CP3 just got ruled out 15 minutes ago. I knew that he was questionable coming into tonight. Placed this bet this afternoon, got it at 27.5, and I'm honestly surprised that that's still the number right now. With CP3 getting ruled out, he's been banged up with that heel injury. But this is just one that we've loved fading this Heat defense. When you think of the Heat, right, you think defense, you think that defensive culture, but not this year. And you really got to dive into some numbers because their defensive rating, their efficiency, it's still middle of the pack, but they're letting opponents shoot up around 38% from 3 against them. That's 7th worst in the league.
Mm-hmm.
They allow almost 38 3-point attempts in the league. That's 4th most in the league. And Booker's a guy that, he likes to take shoots and he likes to trigger it from 3, honestly. And he can get hot. And if he gets hot from 3, look out. And he's got a great matchup versus a Miami team who's not that good tonight. Miami in general, they let teams shoot almost 48% against them, 7th highest in the NBA. And, like I was just saying, Booker, he shoots over 38.4% from behind the 3-point line. The season ended today. That's his career high, right? I really like that over 2.5, 3 number in this one. But it's so juiced right now. It's 175. I personally don't bet anything over 150. I'm not laying that juice. I'm not risking it because you know how gambling goes.
Oh yeah, I'm with you, DJ. I'm at a minus 145. That's far as I'm going.
Literally, bro. But that's our play tonight. We like Booker tonight, and I love your take there too on Orlando. It's definitely a sleepy place, and we've been betting Banchero overs a lot this year. He's a young dude trying to prove himself in the league, and he's trying extra hard against a lot of these good teams, a lot of these star teams. But I'm with you guys on that Hornets pick. We're not on the Hornets side today, but we like the Hornets to go in and get that win tonight, and we love watching LaMelo. We love LaMelo, so excited to watch him tonight. But thanks for having us on, Chris, and hopefully we can cash some more tickets tonight. You guys know I love betting Kelly Oubre props, and I definitely lean that one again tonight too. Yeah,
I like it. TJ, real quick before you leave, so you official on his points or his threes, the 27.5 or the 2.5?
Yeah, we're official on his points tonight, 27.5, and I really like the threes. I honestly like that more than points, but I'm not laying that minus 170 or whatever. So.
Got you. I'm probably gonna tell that one, DJ. I like that look a lot, and this is why we do the show, right? I absolutely love Devin Booker tonight. Bounce back spot after the loss against Orlando. I talked about it on the morning show how how Miami is struggling with giving up the 3-point ball. I'm looking at it right now, and they're actually giving up the 8th most points to shooting guards throughout the season, 25.8. And I think Devin Booker probably puts him on his back in his spot. It's the last game of a road trip for them as well, and I think they probably want to go out with a banger. I absolutely love that spot, DJ, and I'll probably tell you on that one, bro. Appreciate you sharing that look.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chris, and have a good night. Cash some tickets, my guy.
Absolutely, bro. Same to you. Let me see if I can get Silverio back up here, and then we're gonna get ready to close this thing out if you guys don't have anything else. Silverio, can you hear me?
Yeah, bro. What up?
How you doing?
Good, and you?
I'm doing pretty good, man.
Man, today I'm going Scotty Barnes double.
Okay.
I think he will catch a lot of rebounds and he will do some points. So I think it's a pretty good line. And I'm going Trae Young over 27.5, I think, points against Milwaukee Bucks because he always cook against Milwaukee. So today he will do it again.
I like it, Silverio. I like it a lot, bro. Best of luck to you, man. I hope you cash both of them tonight. Absolutely. Bookie Bully, I see you came back up, bro. What's going on? How you doing? What else you got for us?
What's good, bro? I was just looking at I was actually looking at Killian Hayes tonight because so he's actually seeing a 3% usage tick up without Cade, and obviously, and so without Cade, he was averaging just under 6 field goal attempts a game. Now he's averaging 13 and a half the last 3 without him, going from around 18 minutes per game to up to 34. The 3 games without Cade: 16 against Boston, 11 against New York, 15 against Boston. Boston, very tough matchup for point guards. So he also recorded 7 assists in the last 2 games, averaging about 13 and a half potential assists. And his double-double is actually plus 600 right now. And Toronto, over the last 7 games, is allowing the most assists to shooting guards, which is what he plays next to Ivy. So I really like that. I also like his over 10 and a half over the last 3 games without Cade. If he shoots the ball 14 times, can't score 10 points or 11 points, I'll live with that. His 3-point line too. He went 3 for 6 last game, and it's 1.5 right now at plus 160. I'm probably gonna sprinkle all around on the points, assists, and the threes there, and the double.
Okay. Okay. Hey, best of luck, Bookie. I hope you catch those too. I think so. One thing I think is really interesting is these teams that are typically used to winning. Teams that are typically used to winning that are losing are going to come out with something in that next spot, right? So, for example, this Toronto Raptors team, I absolutely love. I love the way that they play basketball. They share the ball. They they play really hard, gritty, grinded out style defense. They play hard for Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse, rides starters into the ground. Leaves them out there, always trying to win every single game. And they've lost 2 games in a row. And the loss to Toronto was a bad loss. Then the loss to Indiana was a loss. They just kind of ran out of gas. You see them go up early. I think that they come back out with something, especially being that Dwayne Casey owns them as well. So I kind of like that angle of Toronto early in this game. Not anything that I played, but I do think that just being more rested. Right, Indiana caught them in a very fatigued spot. 5th game in 7 nights, 3rd game in 4 nights, 2nd night of a back-to-back with travel as well, because that was a road home back-to-back, a road back-to-back, I think, traveling from OKC to Indiana. So I think that I know Detroit's going. I think that they play well in this spot, but I wouldn't be surprised if Toronto comes out here and smashes them early in this one.
I definitely agree. And I also want to warn too, clearly Detroit, there's no certified guy there. It could be anyone any night, like you're just talking about. It could be Sadiq's night, could be Ivy's night, Bojan's night. You really never know with this team. But I just think that those lines are really low. Also, a little bit of a small narrative thing. Killian Hayes on NBA Twitter is regarded as the worst NBA player of all time. I'm sure minutes. I'm sure he's trying to produce. So that's just something I want to throw in there. But I do proceed with caution. He might not see the volume he's been seeing.
Right. No, I like that. I'm glad you added that, Bookie, because people don't like Killian Hayes, but he's actually, if you look at the numbers, he's been more productive this year than he was last year for sure. He'll definitely have the opportunity without Cade being in. Cade missing, I think, 4 more games, so tonight will be at least 1 more game. And Dwayne Casey says that it's all precaution stuff, right? They just don't want to hurt him. They understand it's a long season. They don't want that shin to get worse. So like the look there, Bookie, for sure. Vaughn, I tried to get you up, bro, and then HB, and then we're gonna close out. I'll go over official recap of my plays that I'm on, and then we'll get up out of here. Vaughn, can you hear me, bro? If so, the floor is yours.
Yeah, bro, you hear me good?
Yeah, you good.
So a couple plays tonight, man. After a good weekend in the Discord, bro, Saturday we went up 6 units. One thing I really like tonight, so I'm on Javon Carter points. So the last couple times the Hawks have played, I've been watching Trae Young because I've bet his point prop. One thing about Trae Young, his defensive effort, not very underwhelming defensive effort, and it's consistent. When you watch him play pick and roll defense, he lets himself be screened and then does a half-ass job trying to get back to recover. So I'm going to start looking at taking whoever Trae Young is guard, even if they limited on opportunities, I got to start taking a closer look at that. So we on Javon Carter points at 10.5. No Drew Holiday tonight, so we should see a little bit more of a little bit more opportunities. His usage is crazy these last 2 games with no Giannis and Drew. We expecting Giannis to be back tonight, so
Still like to play at 11 points. Also, we on Jaden Ivey PRA at 27.5. Last 2 games, no KE. He's top 30 in usage in the NBA. So we just gonna take his line. He's one of the guys, kind of like Giddey, who rebounds well, who passes well, who can also score the ball as well. So we looking at a night. I'm probably saying maybe like 26-5, something like that. So really like Jaden Ivey PRA over 27.5. I like Zubac rebounds tonight. We played that at 1 unit at 11.5. So we know Houston is bad versus centers. But also last time the Clippers played Houston, Zubac got in foul trouble. I think he had 3 fouls in the first half. And Sengun had like 3 or 4 highlight plays against him. And when you have that many fouls that early in the game, there's not much you can do. So I like Zubac to kind of bounce back tonight. So the rebounds at 11.5. And Paul George points. I played him Saturday. Brooklyn kind of handled them in the second half. So with Brooklyn handling them the way they did, I think you said it earlier. Paul George did not play in the fourth quarter because I had him to score 22. He ended with 17 at the end of the third, and he shot the ball. So I like Paul George in the bounce back spot tonight. I like Clint Capella rebounds again tonight. I think he's coming off of 2 20-rebound games in a row. So I love Clint Capella rebounds. Last play is Boston. First half team total at 61.5. So we know Boston has been one of the top 3 first quarter teams. But I think they've scored over 30 points 5 of their last 6 games in the first quarter. But also they're scoring in the second quarter just as well. Just wanted to give myself a little room for error with this first half team total over 61.5. I've been bit by some first quarter totals. I think first half give us a little more room for error, even if they come out. So that's all we on today, man. Not a lot of volume today. I think we got about 4 or 5 plays. Looking to get a good undefeated day going.
I love it, Von. Love it, bro. I hope you cash all of them too. One thing I do want to iterate, I talked about this on the morning show, man. Dogs, they're cashing on Mondays at I think it was like a 65 to 70% rate. So, don't think about taking all the favorites tonight if you're thinking about, putting stuff together, especially if it's spread stuff. So just something else I wanted to share real quick. HB, I'm gonna kick it to you, then do a quick recap and we're gonna get up out of here. Wish everybody luck. What's up, HB? What you want today?
Yo, what's going on, bro? I really just came to listen to the vibes and stuff, and like I wish yesterday I listened to your show first before I placed the tickets I did, because once you said dogs bark on Sundays, every last one of those jobs, I'm like, yo, this guy could predict the future. This is crazy. But and then I just had like one play, but now I'm not doing it because Vaughn just said Drew Holiday's not playing. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he's not playing. Yep, he out.
So now when I look at those stats, I looked at Brook Lopez with 3s because usually he was cashing for me with 2 or 3 threes, and then it went up. With Drew Holiday out, it went down. Like, oh snap, it's low again. Now see why it's low, because who's gonna pass it to him to get me those 2 or 3 threes? So I'm off that. I was gonna do 3 threes in a win, but I'm not touching that. And what you just said, dog, I'm just gonna watch the game, enjoy my Monday. I'm not putting no money down.
Hey, bro, I'm trying to tell you, it's so much better to watch the game when you don't got money on it and know your bets with a loss than to play a bet and lose and then you be mad. Like, bro, I hate losing, bro. So I'm with you on that, HB. Nothing wrong with having a light night or not having to go too crazy at all, man. You don't even got to place a bet. You could just watch and learn. Take notes for the upcoming games. And if your bet cashes that would have you thought would have played, then it's all good. But if it don't, then you save yourself some money, man. So we definitely don't have to have action on every single game, or we don't have to have action every single night. Nothing wrong with listening, watching and learning. So
that's a fact.
Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that, HB. Vaughn, best of luck to you too, bro. Vaughn, you got something else, or you put your hand up for another reason?
Oh no, so just real quick, bro. So yesterday when you was I say this all the time, man, but y'all got to get with Chris in the morning.
And it's a real good start to your day, but it's also sometimes he's giving you a look that you may not know that you needed. Because yesterday you talked about, like you said, how the dogs do well on Sundays and Mondays. I told you in the chat I was gonna sprinkle on that Kings money line as a motivation spot more than anything else. The Kings came out a little slow, but that crowd was barking. Great bounce back spot. Kings came out like they just wanted to be there. And then, like you said, man, Saturdays, and Mondays are dog days, but Saturdays, some weird shit be happening in the NBA.
That's a fact.
So if y'all can, even if you can't get up with Chris at 7 a.m. during the week, 9 a.m. on weekends, man, listen to the replay. I do it before I put anything in. As someone, I like a lot of times he's doing his SDQL stuff like right there, and he's sharing his screen. So it's a great resource. Doing some of the capping for you, but just putting you on the looks. And this early morning stuff that you may not have seen the night before. Someone who's taking the time to watch all the games. Because if you're watching the Lakers at starting at 10:30. I know you ain't going to sleep till 1. So someone who's getting all of the news from Underdog, someone who's going to help you do the research or do some of it for you. So y'all got to get with that morning show. And I appreciate you, bro, because you done put me on to some looks. But that sprinkle on that Kings money line did me justice last night.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm glad you cashed, bro. Not only did the Kings cover, they won the game outright, catching 3.5 at the crib, covered by 11 points. The Lakers covered by 18 last night. They were 5-point dogs when that line closed. They ended up winning by 13. So, yeah, man, it's not about taking the favorites, man. It's definitely not about taking the favorites each time. Cleveland opened as 5-point favorites. They end up losing by 5. So, the Knicks opened as, I think 5.5-point favorites. They lost by 10. So, yeah, man, dogs was barking yesterday for sure. Ben, I want to kick it to you real quick, and then I'm going to do a recap, and we're going to get up out of here. What's up, Ben? What you want?
Hey, how you doing? Sorry, I would have requested sooner, but I didn't get in the car to drive home until a little late. I got two things. I mean, I feel like we have to ride the campaign train, right, for one more game with Chris Paul out. I've kind of noticed some of these reserves who play, in place of someone who's out for a short period of time. Whenever they think it's kind of their last game starting, it's like they give even more effort, because they know they're going to be going back to a smaller role. So the way that I kind of wanted to attack campaign was the point, rebound, assist line. Obviously, you said it before, right? Miami's got some issues with defending the 3 ball, especially against guards. And he's been, I don't know if anyone else has been noticing, but he's been kind of lighting it up low key from behind the 3-point line. And the other thing, I forget who said it a few weeks ago, but someone found a really good trend with point guards against Miami. They're giving up far and away the most rebounds to point guards, probably just because Lowry is a little disconnected on the offensive end, so the guard can rebound a little more, aggressively when Lowry plays. His line is at 26.5 right now. Again, it's just too low, right? There's just a lot of different routes that campaign can go to get to 26.5, point, rebound, assist. I mean, he might score 20 points alone on that. He might get that with points and rebounds. He could get it with just points and assists. I think it's just too low. And then I'm still waiting for them. I don't see a Devin Booker assist line on the main book I use yet. But if it goes up to, if it's at 5.5 like it's been lately, it's just, he crushes it every single game without Chris Paul. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, I liked it. I like the looks, Ben. Speaking to your point on just the point guards and the rebounds, I hadn't really paid attention to that, but what I'm looking at is Miami giving up the 3rd most rebounds to point guards over the last 7 games, 7.89. Only the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Brooklyn Nets are giving up more. Defensive game, total only projected that opened at 217 and come down to 215. That typically bodes well for a lot of rebounds. When I'm looking at these games, I'm looking at, if I'm looking at these games and I see low totals, I'm always going to be looking at hold on, what? When I'm always going to be looking at rebounds for the opposite team, because a total at 215 or lower tells me it's going to be a bunch of rebounds in that game. So I love that look, Ben. We also just got breaking news from Underdog. Nick Nurse cannot be trusted. Banton is starting with OG Anunoby, Scotty Barnes, Thaddeus Young, and Porter are actually starting. So yeah, we got some some mix up there for sure with that lineup. But yeah, that's that's interesting. I still like Scotty Barnes a lot in this one. OG as well. I think both of those guys have really good games. But having having Otto Porter Jr. out there is going to be interesting for sure. So game I'm is still especially interested in watching. They are going small with Thaddeus Young at the 4, with Thaddeus Young at the 5, and having Otto Porter Jr. at the 4. So that's what I got for you guys, though. Appreciate the looks, though, Ben, Vaughn, everybody else that came up, man. I think it was a really good show. If you guys missed it, jump back in on Twitter, jump back in on YouTube and catch the, not the whole repeat, but if you want to listen to my looks, just fast forward to the end where I've, stopped giving the analysis for the games and give out my officials, and then you can listen to, as much as you want to of, everybody's takes. Also, you guys can tweet your plays to the CBC show, and I'll retweet them out for you guys as well. Officially, I am though, just for you guys who stuck around. I'm on Trey Young over 27.5 points. I'm on PG over 26.5 points, right up already put in there on the chalkboard link, and I posted that up top as well. Shout out to my guy Ski. He's now in the chalkboard with myself, Ronald Cobain, and Finesse. We are all co-hosts of the Capper University chalkboard community. So the link is posted up there if you guys want to join and see free write-ups from us. We got some cool stuff, that we've planned to do for the gambling community and everybody that's a participant. It's free. So just utilize that link up there. But as far as officials for me, I talked about Trey Young. I'm on his points, 27.5 PG. I'm on his points, 26.5. And I love the over in that in the Boston Celtics in the OKC game, over 228. Those are all plays that I put in officially. Also, really love, I talked about Scotty Barnes already. Really love Scotty Barnes a lot tonight. I really love Steph tonight. I think Steph has to go crazy to keep them in that game. San Antonio plays no defense. OG Wham talked about Marcus Smart assists. I love that. An extremely fast-paced game. I love that you can get it at plus money at 7.5. And then we talked about the first quarter. Warriors and the Spurs. Somebody asked about the first quarter, 59.5. I love the over in that spot. But what I've learned, though, and I think this is important to share too, and then I'm going to shut it down. What I've learned is that if you catch these first quarters, when the total's projected to be 59.5 or above, 58.5 or above, typically the game starts out slow. So if you guys are in a state where you can live bet, wait until the total drops. If it drops to 56, 55, 57.5, and you already projected that it'll be 60 points in the first half, in the first quarter, then you take the over, right? I've been hitting on a lot of that. So pay attention to these games that start slow and then jump in and catch the live line. Even with favorites, even with spreads, right? Like you just got to know the game flow, because if you see that total drop, it's typically not going to stay that way, and the pace will start to pick up. But teams do tend to start a little slow, and then the game starts to pick up and gets a little faster, or teams start a little slow and not able to score, and then it kind of pick up. So I wanted to kind of leave you guys with that as well. Best of luck to everyone. I always like to end the show with the same thing. None of this is financial consultation. It's theory, it's logic, it's analytics, it's SDQL, it's eye test. Best of luck to you guys. As always, bet with your head and not over it, man. Best of luck on all your bets tonight. Back tomorrow. Cashed it with Chris, 7 a.m. And then we doing another show tomorrow evening, 5:15. Best of luck to you guys tonight.